and the Mavericks.
And thank you, Marv, and welcome to the American Airlines Center in Dallas. Just underway in the first minute of Game 5, and the Golden State Warriors can make NBA history, becoming the first #8 seed to be the #1 seed in a best-of-7 series. A shocking 3-1 lead, and this game underway tied at 4-4. The Warriors and the Mavericks, and Dallas is up against it. Dirk Nowitzki with 2 free throws. And a second foul called on Steven Jackson. So Nowitzki has the edge right there. Dick Stockton, along with Reggie Miller and Pam Oliver and Avery Johnson, trying to bring his team back, and basically have been out-hustled and outplayed throughout this series, Reggie.
Yeah, you would think that the Golden State Warriors were the #1 seed coming into this series right now, but obviously it's do or die for Dallas.
And Dirk Nowitzki hitting the jumper, so Nowitzki, who has not taken charge as an MVP-type player should in this kind of a series, off to a hot start. And the foul is committed by Dirk Nowitzki, his first. So the Warriors, a heady team and playing with a world of confidence. But Reggie, it's a tough spot for the Mavericks, who really have no margin for error in this game.
Well, definitely the Mavs' egos are bruised and battered right now. And obviously they need to win with their backs to the wall, but they need a convincing win. They need to blow them out. If this is a close game, advantage goes to the Golden State Warriors, even in a loss.
Monte Ellis with the run around the baseline. Beatrice getting the offensive rebound. And the Warriors, who trailed several times by 9 points in game number 4, came back to win with a strong fourth quarter. Steven Jackson on the miss. J.Howard with the rebound. Avoids the stealing tactics by the Warriors, and J.Howard with the basket, coming in as the leading shooter for the Dallas Mavericks, coming off a 22-point game. He has had 20 or more in every contest. And Jason Terry committing the foul on the jump shooter, Monte Ellis, who will go to the line.
And this is very much the same kind of start that J.Howard had in game 4, getting off to a great start offensively. The nice little pearl move for the free throw line jumper disappeared somewhat in the fourth quarter of that game. He's got to be aggressive for all 48 minutes there.
He did not take a shot in the fourth quarter, which is hard to fathom, but that was the story. Monte Ellis hitting the first one. Ellis, who is the most improved player in the NBA this year, has had rough going, with the exception of one game, as has Al Harrington, who started the series at center, now coming off the bench. And Don Nelson telling us before the game that he could very well go to a 6-man rotation if Ellis and Harrington do not really come up big tonight.
Well, we all know that Nelson is the king of small ball. Well, he's serious about this 6-man rotation. If these guys do not get it done early, and he can recognize the body language, he will stick with that 6-man rotation.
Devin Harris with the jump shot, and Harris, who got into early foul trouble, which affected his game. Here's Jason Richardson, and that's been the Golden State style. Richardson, after really having rough shooting games early, now at 51%. He had 22 in game number 5, and the Mavericks lead by 2. And Jason Terry with the basket, and traveling call, and the Warriors turn it over. Richardson complaining to Bernie Pryor. So the Mavericks lead by 4 in the first 3 minutes of the game, and they have the ball.
Dallas doing a good job after a score to try to slow these Warriors down, contesting and fronting the ball, making it tough for the outlets.
And here is Howard going in. Good defense by Beatrice, but Job cleans up and scores. And it's a 6-point Dallas lead. The best the Mavericks have played have been when Job has been on the floor in this series.
And offensive rebound has been one constant for this Dallas Mavericks team. If Job and Dampier can kill him on the offensive glass, that is a bonus and a plus for the Mavs.
Good start for Dallas.
And Job gotten the start 2 games in a row, trying to assert himself on the offensive glass.
The 2007 NBA playoffs on TNT.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. By Jeep, legendary capability, only in a Jeep 4x4. By Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace. And by T-Mobile, official sponsor of the NBA.
Don Nelson calling the early timeout with the Mavericks leading by 6. And it's time for the Gatorade around the cooler. And right now, let's go to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Well, Dick, there has been a swirl of interest and some comments made by Avery Johnson regarding his superstar forward, Dirk Nowitzki. And those comments center around whether Dirk can still afford to be more aggressive despite the way Golden State has been defending him. Avery said he was tired of hearing about how the Warriors are taking Dirk out of his game and about a lack of confidence. Avery didn't back off of those comments when we spoke with him before the game. Instead, he offered up this example, Baron Davis. He said he gets trapped, but that doesn't stop him from scoring or attacking the hole. Avery Johnson needs his big German tonight, Dick.
No question about it. Greg Popovich said, I think championships are won by teams whose superstars play the best. They need that from Dirk Nowitzki tonight. Beatrice, this is a closing shot. And here come the Mavericks, who will run if you give the opportunity. And Nowitzki, who looks like a changed player early on with his aggressiveness, has 6 of the Mavericks' 16 points.
What better way to get points than to get out in the open court and try to get some easy ones on the fast break.
And Beatrice, foul going the baseline, a delayed call, and it's on Job.
And fast break points, they've definitely been behind the Mavericks in this series. Dirk Nowitzki doing a good job. They can double team you if you run the lanes and get wide open layups like that.
Mavericks scoring on all 7 possessions so far in this game. And here is Beatrice, who has problems from the free throw line. Just about a 50% free throw shooter. Missed all 3 of his tries in game number 4. And goes for 1 for 2 here. 16-9, the Mavericks lead early on. Dallas has lost 7 of their last 8 playoff games. Remember, they had a 2-0 lead over Miami in last year's finals, lost 4 straight, and 3 out of 4 here. 7 on the clock. Howard steps back and hits. Josh Howard, who really has been the best Maverick player in this series on both ends of the floor.
Well, he's been the most consistent Maverick. Been able to get it done offensively, inside and out.
Monte Ellis missing the jumper. 9-point lead. Mavericks several times had a 9-point advantage over the Warriors in game 4. And they've opened up one early here. And losing the ball was Howard out of bounds. And again, we have to say, we have to dispel those reports that the Warriors don't play good defense. They certainly do.
Well, ever since the trade came over from Indiana, Steven Jackson and Al Harrington, along with Baron Davis, really has given that defensive punch that Nelly's been looking for. So it's a misnomer that they don't play defense. They play great one-on-one defense.
And they're going to need Al Harrington to wake up in this series. Here's Baron Davis. Layup doesn't go, and Nowitzki finally clears the board. Baron Davis coming off the 33-point game on Sunday, the second time he scored 33 in the series. Terry has his shot blocked, and now the foul is called. So the personal foul charged to Al Harrington, and going to the free throw line.
Jason Terry here trying to take a page from Baron Davis and attacking the lane, trying to get to the free throw line. Al Harrington just checked in, a step slow coming over on the rotation. And these are easy points for the Mavericks. Whenever you can score with no time running off the clock, this is a plus because they're such a good free throw shooting team.
It's amazing that we're talking this way about a Dallas Maverick team that won 67 games this year, had the best record in the NBA, many people picking them to win the title. And all of a sudden, they find themselves in an incredible struggle. There's Jerry Stackhouse and Devin George, who are both coming into the game as Job and Devin Harris go to the bench. But Stackhouse, a huge factor, even in defeat in game number 4, finally broke out of it after a quiet first 3 games, had 24 points, and was the leader of this team.
Well, 6 of 14 field goals in that game. 6 of 24 field goals, the other 3 combined. So it lets you know that he's starting to find his offensive rhythm coming off the bench.
Terry completes the three-point play. Baron Davis goes in with the slam. So Baron Davis, who is expected to play over 40 minutes once again. Remember, he played on that surgical knee throughout this year. Didn't always in his career, but has for Nelson. Nowitzki. And you saw that Stephen Jackson trying to avoid picking up that third personal foul. Here's Harrington with the pull-up. So Harrington, who is really having problems. 5 for 27 from the field, hits the shot, but it's still a 7-point Maverick lead.
Well, Michael Petrus was that missing link for Nelly in Game 4. Can Al Harrington be that off the bench for them as well?
Nowitzki fouled going to the basket, but for the first time in this series, Dirk Nowitzki is taking it strong to the rim.
Well, finally, because all the national media is wondering what is wrong with probably the MVP of the year this year, because he's settling for double teams. Obviously, he's saying he's going to do whatever it takes for them to win and look for his teammates, but that's not going to cut it. Stars rise and shine in the playoffs. In a series like this, where it's up and down, he should be taking 25 shots a game and averaging close to 30 points a game. I don't care if you got guys that are 6'7", 6'6" guarding you. Take advantage of your height and your skill.
Even against the double team, you've got to bust through that.
Well, see, even though the double team comes, there's an escape dribble that he has to use and get out of it. And he's accepting the double team. Use that escape dribble, get out of it, and attack the double team.
2 free throws by Dirk Nowitzki, and again a 9-point lead. Nowitzki has 8 points, and nearly 6 minutes gone by in this opening quarter. Here's Harrington working on Terry, and Terry trying to take the charge to no avail. Devin George the rebound, and Dallas trying to open up a double-digit lead. There's the fake by Nowitzki. George open for 3, and he's got it. And for the first time since game number 2, the Dallas Mavericks have a double-digit lead. Howard comes back on the turnover and the steal, and it's 27-13. And Don Nelson's going to talk it over yet again.
And this is the type of energy, the type of passion that Avery Johnson has been looking for in his young Dallas Maverick team. Dirk with a nice up and under, finds a wide open Devin George for the 3, and Josh Howard with the turnaround, look around, steal, and the basket.
Mavericks have hit 10 of their first 12.
You got to love it. You got to love the situation you're in. You're in the playoffs. This is win or go home. And we want to keep winning. We got a lot of basketball left in us, and our fans are really going to come out tonight and really give us the energy we need to continue on and get this series back to Oakland.
And Don Nelson, who built the foundation of this team, never has backed off the fact that the Mavericks are the better team. He regards them as a wounded giant. And they could easily win 3. Hey, they won 17 during the regular season. They had another streak of 13, another one of 12. So let's see what the Warriors do on the kick ball to try to combat this early surge.
Well, it all starts with one game, and that's what I mentioned. For their psyche, for them to win the series and move on, they've got to have a big win to lift themselves up, because they've been demoralized so far in the series.
They just can't eke out a win here to stay alive.
That's an advantage to the Golden State Warriors going home to that game. If they do lose, it's early now, and we know that there's a lot of firepower over there on Nelson's bench. Now, we're just saying if the series does go.
Stephen Jackson is fouled. We'll send it over to Pam.
Well, Dick, in that last huddle, Golden State, they said we knew this was going to be this way. We knew it was going to be hard. Nothing was going to be easy, but let's just settle down. They feel like Dallas is talking a lot of noise, and one guy, Baron Davis, said, hey, we got to make these guys shut up, and we got to deliver on our game. Back to you.
All right, so the one thing we know about the Warriors is that they're unfazed. They came out and lost game 2, 112-99, came back strong in game 3 as Jackson misses the free throws, and it's still a 14-point lead for the Mavericks with nearly 5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Here's Stackhouse. No one picks him up, but he cannot convert. Harrington the rebound. Here's Jackson against George. George steals the ball. And up ahead is Stackhouse, and he'll get an easy two.
And that's a page from the Golden State Warriors. Somewhat cherry picking there by Jerry Stackhouse. He missed the layup the previous possession, stays back, gets the dunk.
Matt Barnes coming off the bench effectively. First man off the bench throughout the series for the Warriors. Gets two back. Here's Terry in the paint, scoops it in. So the Mavericks, looking like a totally different team than we've seen in this series thus far, have jumped up to a 31-15 lead, and an offensive foul. Called against Harrington, it'll be his second.
And he's saying that he was pushed into that by Dirk Nowitzki. Bernie Fire said he didn't see it that way. You got to stay still on your pick and rolls. But this is a refreshing look at the Dallas Mavericks, because we have not seen this, maybe a little bit in game 2. But overall for the whole series, this has been a refreshing look. This is what a #1 seed is supposed to look like.
Absolutely. Terry with Stackhouse, Howard, Nowitzki, and Devin George. Here is Dirk Nowitzki going up, changing hands, gets another chance, and can't convert.
But I like it. He's being aggressive, taking the basketball to the hoop.
And Stackhouse with the rebound, and no foul is called. He can't understand. Mikael Petrus all over him. Here is Nowitzki. Howard getting the offensive rebound, no basket, and the foul before the shot. And they're going to call a double foul. Bernie Fire signals double foul on that last play. No basket.
And almost a swing there by Devin George on Mikael Petrus right there. Got tangled up, going for the rebound. Dirk Nowitzki with the shot in the corner. And these guys kind of got locked in right there. And as we know, there's no love lost between these two teams. We know it's a 1 and it's an 8, and kind of Mikael Petrus got a shot in the face right there. We know there's no love lost between Nelly and Mark Cuban and the whole, you know, his exit out of here. So it's been chippy all series between these two, and that's a good indication right there between Devin George and Petrus.
Both with the fouls, and Devin George going to the sideline. That was his second, and the tip controlled by Dallas. So Garnett back into the game, and here is Terry using Nowitzki as a screen with 3.5 to play in the opening quarter. Here is Terry with the long-range shot. Matt Barnes the rebound. 31-15. The Mavericks off to the big start. Barnes with a basket and the foul. So Matt Barnes, who got the big three-point basket in the fourth quarter to help the Warrior comeback in the game, had 8 points, has really been tremendous off the bench.
And he's been probably their most consistent player off the bench. The nice extension there, left hand dunk.
Barnes playing with his 5th NBA team in 4 years. Sagana Diop committing his second foul will go to the bench. And Eric Dampier, who was the regular starter during the year at center, but has started 1 game back in, or in for the first time.
Well, I really think Diop really has done a great job in this series, moving his feet between the two centers, him and Damp. Let's see if Damp can adjust to his role coming off the bench and being effective.
Hasn't been a good matchup with Dampier in there. Diop, of course, a lot more active. And here is Stackhouse. Rips the 3. Ball comes out to Stackhouse again. J.Howard open. And now the Mavericks miss a couple of open shots. Jackson feeding a driving Harrington for the basket. So 2 field goals by Al Harrington trying to get back in the swing of things. Jackson with the needle pass. 31-19, and now Avery Johnson wants to discuss things. 2:46 remaining in the first quarter, but it has been all Dallas.
Well, we talked about Dirk Nowitzki getting out on the break and getting a healthy dose of some easy layups. Al Harrington struggling as well. Best way to get going, get out in the open court.
Mavericks by 12, but who expected the Golden State Warriors to even make the playoffs? It looked dim. Don Nelson hired as head coach by Chris Mullin, the vice president of operations. The big trade with the Indiana Pacers, bringing Harrington and Steven Jackson. 26-35 early in the month of March, and then a strong finish, 16-5, winning 9 of their last 10. And here they are in the playoffs for the first time in 13 years. They have not won a playoff series since they defeated the San Antonio Spurs in 1991, and are within 1 game of what would have to be one of the shocking upsets in NBA history, if not the most. But the Mavericks coming out strong. 2 for 9, though. They have cooled off since their brilliant start from the field. 7 on the clock. Here's Harris. And a 3 by Devin Harris. Foul trouble, limited it to only 8 points Sunday. Here's Barnes again. And a tough reverse layup after some contact driving in the paint.
And that's the advantage Matt Barnes. If Eric Dampier is going to guard him that far away, that's the best thing you do is put your head down and go to the basket.
Close to 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Mavericks were up by as many as 16. Now we have 2 minutes. Nowitzki has 8 points. Here's the double team. Good ball movement. Harris misses a 3 this time, and Dampier seemed to have the rebound, but it was stripped away. And the 3-point basket by Petrus, and it was Mikal Petrus who hit the big 3, several of them, and brings the Warriors to within 10. He played big in game 4.
Well, he had that 2 back-to-back threes, and then the big block on Jason Terry from behind that really changed that 4th quarter for the Warriors.
And here is Harris driving in, going out with 7 on the clock. Nowitzki trying to get the foul and doesn't. The Warriors do not foul Nowitzki, and now chance to get it into single digits for Golden State. After a big early start and a foul called against Nowitzki, that'll be his 2nd personal foul. And Jason Terry will come back in.
And you look at the quick hands by Steven Jackson right there, and you look at all 5 Warriors players across half court. Only 3 Mavs players, and what do? They circle the 3-point line. Right there, Petrus does a good job of running to the short 3 and knocking down the shot.
And Jackson, who is an 85% free throw shooter in the series, makes it a 9-point game. Well, TNT has playoff action through Thursday, but also on TV. ESPN on Friday. Playoff coverage will continue, as with ABC next Sunday. 1:11 remaining in the first quarter. Steven Jackson with the free throws. And an 8-point lead, so the Golden State Warriors have sliced the Maverick lead in half on a 7-0 run.
It's all about a game and runs, and Golden State Warriors just want to stay close. They want to stay in the mix as they did in game 1, and they found a big 4th quarter from Baron Davis.
Barnes defending against Stackhouse. Howard has Harrington, goes strong to the hoop and gets the lay-in. So Josh Howard, 4 for 6 from the field. And again, a 10-point lead, but Petrus misses his first attempt, and they're going to call the foul against Dallas. Devin Harris fouls Petrus, and that'll be his first. And the Mavericks in the penalty, so they'll go to the line.
And a good move there by Steven Jackson, getting into the teeth of the defense. Petrus doing a good job of circling back. Missed a wide open layup, but stayed with it and got the foul from Devin Harris. This team is not going to change their style, the Golden State Warriors. They're going to hoist a lot of threes coming into this game. 104 3-point attempts. 31, the most ever for Golden State Warriors in a playoff game. So they're going to continue to shoot a lot of threes, shoot quick, and try to play pressure defense.
And you're right, that's their game. And Don Nelson, when we talked to him, said, look, you know, they may take some wild shots and wild situations on a fast break, but that's their game, and I don't want to take that away from them. But you're right, the Warriors shot the most threes in the league. Nearly a half a minute remaining, 16 on the shot clock. It's an 8-point game, and Stackhouse missing, and Harrington, who looks like he's energized in this first quarter, leading the break, and Petrus can't save it, so Harrington throws it away, and it goes over to Dallas, who can affect play for the last shot of this first quarter.
And Al's telling Petrus to cut to the basket, but that's not their MO. Mikal Petrus was running to the 3-point line where he just made a 3 on the opposite side. Al has to look up and recognize that.
Ellis defending against Harris at the point in a 1-4 setup, familiar here to NBA teams. setting up for the last shot. Dampier on the pick and roll. Harris loops it in, and Stackhouse scores. Well-executed play, and the Mavericks up by 10. Final seconds, still time for a shot, and way off the mark is Steven Jackson. And the Dallas Mavericks, who had their only first quarter lead in the series in the last game, have a 10-point edge. Trying to get back in it, trying to avoid elimination, which would be embarrassing for the #1 seed. Start of the second quarter here in Dallas. The Mavericks 38 points is the highest scoring quarter of the series by either team. And for the Warriors, more than half of their points have come from their bench. So it's Baron Davis, along with Monte Ellis, Matt Barnes, Mikal Pietrus, and Al Harrington. Small ball personified. Here's Pietrus. The three-point attempt doesn't go, and Stackhouse with the rebound. He's got Devin Harris, Jason Terry, Josh Howard, and Eric Dampier. And a kick ball is ruled against the Warriors, so Dallas will get it out of bounds. Andres Biendrich will replace Al Harrington, who comes out of the game. The most energy we have seen with Harrington, 2 of 3 from the field, 3 rebounds, and 4 points thus far.
Well, that's a plus for Nelson. He said he wanted to see the body language of Monte Ellis and Al Harrington early. I think he likes the results of what he's seeing.
Pietrus guarding Howard, who drives the baseline, kicks it out to Terry, who hits the 3. Jason Terry now with 9 points, and it's a 41-28 Maverick lead. They have led all the way as we have the first 1 minute being played of the second quarter, and they're going to call Harris with another foul. That'll be his second. He got into foul trouble and had 5 and hardly played the second half on Sunday night, and now he has 2.
Well, Baron Davis is so tough to guard, especially in the open court, because of his size and quickness. He just puts that body on you and just weighs and lays on you.
Baron Davis coming up empty on the 3, so the Mavericks with the ball and a 13-point lead. Did establish a 16-point advantage in the opening quarter. Terry picked up by Pietrus. Good defense by the Warriors. Stackhouse has it taken away by Pietrus. Barnes. Missed the shot. Looked like he was a little out of control. And Stackhouse releasing on the break. Wide open is Terry. And so the Mavericks and the Warriors each missing opportunities in the last possession.
Well, Dallas has to be careful because this is the style of game that the Warriors want. 2 wide open layup opportunities missed by Pietrus.
Pietrus fighting for the loose ball, and it comes out into the hands of Ellis, and they're going to call the Dallas foul. So it was a scrum out there, and the ball kicked around, scrambled for the loose ball, and Devin Harris winds up with his 3rd foul. 3 on Harris.
Well, speaking of threes, this is the 3rd layup missed by Mikal Pietrus right here, and these are opportunities. If you're trying to close out the #1 team, and especially in their buildings, you've got to make these opportunities count for yourself.
Nowitzki replaces Harris into the lineup. Nowitzki playing with 2 fouls in his own right. He and Howard have 8. Terry with 9 points, the scoring leader for the Warriors. Well, they got a lot of balance. Barnes actually have 6, and everyone who has been in the game for Golden State has scored. Richardson, wild 3-point attempt. And right now, Golden State 1 for 3 from 3-point range. Stripped away, Ellis, loose ball, and taken away by Baron Davis. Ellis misses the layup. And they're going to call traveling as Ellis and Barnes both trying to gain control of the ball.
Well, I'm not quite sure on that call right there because neither Ellis nor Barnes had control of the basketball. But once again, another missed opportunity layup by Monte Ellis and the Golden State Warriors.
And we should be used to this because even in their victories, they've had situations like that. Sometimes they look out of control, but right now, the Mavericks are in a 13-point control. Howard gets the foul. And that's all Josh wanted, going against several defenders. He'll go to the free throw line for the first time tonight, and the foul called against Jason Richardson.
Well, it's interesting coming into this game tonight. The one game that the Mavs won, they won the points in the paint, 48-42. Tonight they have 16 points in the paint to the 12 by the Warriors. The other 3 games they've been outscored 126-96 with points in the paint. So I could see that Avery Johnson's trying to make that aggressive attitude to attack the basket and attack the paint. Trying to get some easy ones.
And that's worked so far. 1 out of 2 for Josh Howard. 42-28 is the score. Warriors have missed their last 10 attempts from the field. And they're going to call Josh Howard with the personal foul. And the Mavericks with their 3rd team foul. First against Howard. Barnes, Beatrice, Davis, Ellis, and Richardson for Golden State. Davis pulling back, tough shot by Baron Davis, but he's made them throughout the series. Baron Davis, who had 33 in game 1, came back with 33 in game 4, and it's a 12-point Maverick lead.
It's a 12-point lead, but you would think that it's only a 2 or 3 point game in here because of the non-excitement in the crowd.
Mavericks have attempted only 2 shots. That's their 3rd. Barnes with the rebound. And you can see Howard trying to knock it away from behind. Here is Baron Davis trying to get in the rhythm. Misses the 3. Dallas coming right back. Nowitzki alone for 3. So Dirk Nowitzki, who hit his first 2 threes, and he hasn't done much of that. And Baron Davis missing the layup. And here's Howard going down court just as Stackhouse did earlier. And the Dallas Mavericks taking advantage and beating the Warriors down court up by 14.
And yet again, Baron Davis, another uncontested wide open layup. That might have been their 6th layup that they've missed in this first half.
Here is Monte Ellis with the fake and the drive. Basket counts and a foul. And you wonder on the way down how he was able to get that ball up and in.
Well, I think I figured it out. Maybe it's the degree of difficulty in the layup, whether it counts or not. Monte Ellis with the nice drive baseline and hang time for a 6'1" player right here. Takes the contact and 1.
Meet Curtis. He's got words of wisdom.
Don't talk to me, I don't know what your hands mean.
Words of encouragement.
Clean that up.
He's got, well, lots of words.
What the heck?
Don't miss the all-new comedy series House of Pain, premiering June 6th at 9 on TBS.
12-point lead for the Mavericks, and Avery Johnson said it's been a 180-degree swing with turnovers compared to the regular season and what the Mavericks have done in the playoffs. They've only given up 3 points on 4 turnovers thus far. On the other side of it, the Warriors have had great opportunities to score easy baskets.
Well, 7 missed layups. That's 14 points right there. They're down 12 right now. When you're on the road, and especially in a closeout game, you need all the easy opportunities you can get.
Austin Crozier has come into the game. He has played in 1 game. That was in game number 3. Scored 6 points. Otherwise has not played. Coach's decision thus far. Ellis missing the free throw.
But he brings playoff experience, having played with him in Indiana for so many years. Played in finals teams for us, so he has that playoff experience.
And a good 3-point shooter. Hard-nosed player. 10 on the shot clock, under 8 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Here's Dirk Nowitzki, and fouled from behind. And it'll be on Petros. And that is only the 2nd team foul called against Golden State.
Well, they were going to throw the whole kitchen book at Dirk, which they've been doing all season. Steven Jackson has been the brunt of that defense right there. And they're going to crowd, they're going to push, they're going to hold. Steven Jackson doing a good job of staying down on that pump fake by Dirk Nowitzki. But what I like on that last play, he gets it and goes right away. He's not allowing the double team to come.
Here is Nowitzki going strong, and there's another foul. And it's going to be on Petrus again. He picks up 2 quick ones. So Dirk Nowitzki going to the line. He scored 8 points in the first quarter, but has missed his last 6. And has not made a basket in 12.5 minutes, but he is making his presence felt a lot more tonight than he has in any game.
He could miss the next 10 shots. I don't care, but it's the aggressive nature that he's taking it. Do you see how quickly he's getting the basketball and going? The first 4 games of the series, he would catch the basketball, hold, and wait for the double team to come. As soon as the lob is in the air, he's catching and putting the ball on the floor immediately and not letting the double team come.
Petrus sits down with 3 fouls now. And Al Harrington replaces him in the lineup. Dirk makes both free throws. Mavericks by 14, ran out to an early 16-point lead, and it was cut in half by the Warriors, and then the Mavericks steadied and came back. They have been in charge in this game.
Now the Mavs in their matchup zone right here on defense.
And it works. Loose ball, and stealing it is Josh Howard, pulling up at the free throw line. And there is Baron Davis down court, and another turnover by the Warriors, and extra numbers. And Howard saw Nowitzki underneath, but he was going to take it himself. Dirk Nowitzki there, but Howard now with 13 points. And again, the Mavericks up by 16, matching their biggest lead of the game, as Ellis loses it out of bounds. And yes, Don Nelson scratching his head, trying to find an answer here. The Mavericks trying to stave off elimination. Here is Nowitzki going in with the layup, and a huge first half for the Dallas Mavericks, leading 50-32, their biggest lead of the game. And a timeout called with just under 7 minutes to go in this first half. 20-second timeout called by Don Nelson. And we're back. Dirk Nowitzki with 12 points, leading the way.
And not allowing the double teams to come. Who cares if you're double or triple team? If you go quickly, the double and triple team can't come. As soon as the ball's in the air and he catches it, he's on his way to the basket. Al Harrington is late, rotating over. You've got to be aggressive in the double team.
Warriors will inbound. Jackson with Harrington, Barnes, Richardson, and Davis. And an 18-point lead for Dallas here in the second quarter. Richardson out to Barnes. Tight defense by Dallas. Barnes with the runner, and Nowitzki getting the rebound. Mavericks with a lot more confidence on the defensive end, not allowing the Warriors to run. In fact, the Warriors turning it over 3 times in the last minute. And Dallas now looking to open up a 20-point lead. Nowitzki, loose ball. Crozier gets it out to Terry, and a new clock.
Good hustle there by Austin Crozier to get in there, keep the ball alive. Another possession for the Mavericks.
6 minutes remaining in the first half. Here's Terry, baseline. Richardson gets it out to Baron Davis. In the corner. Steven Jackson spinning his way in, has it knocked away. Loose ball out of bounds. Last touch by Dallas with plenty of time on the shot clock. And now the Mavericks will use a timeout here. They have control, and it's been a Dallas Maverick desperation game for them, 3-1. And they have come out strong, and for the first time showing why they won 67 games.
The 2007 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Ford F-Series. Built for bold moves, built for tough. And by Wendy's. Get in the middle of flavor. Try Wendy's new Double Melt and do what tastes right.
Mavericks up 50-32, and here's what the Mavericks are trying to avoid. Twice in NBA playoffs, a number 8 seed beat a #1. Nuggets beat the Sonics in '94 in the first round. And then, of course, in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks beating the Miami Heat in '99. But keep in mind, those were best-of-5 series. No one has ever knocked off a #1 seed in the first round in a best-of-7 series. In fact, the closest a #8 ever got was winning 3 games. In fact, Orlando had a 3-1 lead over Detroit, and then the Pistons rallied from that deficit in 2003 to win the series in 7 games. Another turnover by Golden State.
Another unforced turnover. Just throwing the basketball out of bounds. No pressure. Can't have that when you're on the road, Dick.
And you can't have as many as 10 turnovers, and you still have 5.5 to play in the second quarter. Crozier, solid three-point shooter, left open. And it's a 53-32 game. 21-point lead for the Mavericks. And right now, the Warriors look befuddled for the first time in this series. Here's Baron Davis going back. And the three-point basket by Al Harrington. So Harrington coming alive, but the rest of the Warriors have to as well if they're going to challenge Dallas in this game. Inside, and Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, you got to have backside help when you're fronting Dirk Nowitzki right there. The Warriors a little late on their rotation.
Howard with a good pass. Crozier coming over to knock it away. 14 now for Nowitzki. And there is Steven Jackson with the field goal. So Jackson, only his 4th point and first basket of the game. 55-37. The Mavericks in front. Crozier fakes the 3 and goes strong to the hoop. And it drops. Austin Crozier with 5 off the bench. And it's a 20-point bulge again.
Well, this is a wrinkle that has actually worked for Avery Johnson.
And Jason Richardson coming back with a 3. So first time tonight we've seen the Warriors long-range shooting in rhythm. Here's Crozier again. And this time fouled from behind by Matt Barnes. And that will be the 4th team foul, so it'll be out of bounds for the Mavericks.
The Warriors saying this last bucket was interfered by Josh Howard. The layup by Austin Crozier. And yes, looked like his hand was on the basketball. No call there, though.
Almost like he went underneath and got a lot of net. But no call. And they gave the field goal to Howard on the tip, so not only no interference, he gets a basket. So Baron Davis will go out of the game. He has scored only 6 points on 3 for 9 shooting. So the Warriors star has cooled off. Replaced by Monte Ellis. Petrus is in the game as well. No shot there, and Nowitzki, and the shot clock violation. So the Warriors starting to show a little life here, even though they're way down by 17 points. Getting some open shots, running smartly, and tightening up the defense.
Well, they can't afford to trade baskets in this position, being down by 17 points. They got to come up with defensive stops and try to convert at the other end.
Ellis going into Petrus, who scores. So Petrus playing with 3 fouls. And of course, when you're using 7-man rotation, you're going to have guys with 3 and 4 fouls during the game. 3:10 to go in the first half. It's a 15-point Dallas lead. They were up by as many as 21. Jason Terry with a nifty move to the basket. That was beautiful. Terry in double figures with 11. And up to 17 again. And a 3-point basket by Jackson, his 2nd here in the second quarter. And the lead cut to 14.
Off of a high pick and roll. Jason Terry, Dirk Nowitzki.
Monte Ellis trying to fight through, and Terry loses his footing. But here's Stackhouse missing the 3. Terry fighting and giving Nowitzki another chance. And offensive foul against Nowitzki, and that'll be his 3rd. 3 fouls on Dirk Nowitzki with 2:25 to go in the second.
Question is, was the defender outside the restricted area? Offensive rebounds. The advantage of the Dallas Mavericks, down by 14.
And Dallas up big over Golden State in this critical game, and Dallas did not win 67 games by being on different pages. And in the playoffs, they have been woefully inconsistent. So before Game 4, Jerry Stackhouse and Jason Terry decided they needed to talk things over in a players-only meeting.
Well, you just want to see if everybody's still on the same page, especially when you haven't played the way you're capable of. You want to make sure everybody's morale is good. You know, everybody still believes, and that was no question. I mean, in that meeting, we just talked, you know, talked about what was frustrating us, why was this team able to have success against us, and some things that we could do to be better against this team. And we got it all out there, and obviously we had a much better showing last game. We just didn't finish the way we're supposed to.
Terry said the meeting was also meant to make sure everybody's morale was still good, that every player still believed. He said without question it is, and they do. Back to you, Tim.
All right, Pam, and of course that was before Game 4 when the Warriors were impressive in beating the Mavericks in the fourth quarter. Terry missing the jump shot, and Jason Richardson with the rebound. The Warriors, who missed 10 in a row earlier in this quarter, have hit their last 5 from the field. And Richardson makes it 6 in a row, and it's 59-47. So the Warriors fight back, down by 21, now trailed by only 12.
Well, they're creeping back in by making shots and giving up only 1 shot on the defensive end.
Under a minute and a half to go, and Crozier loses control, and here come the Warriors again. Jackson is open for the 3 and hits his 3rd three-pointer here in the second quarter, and it's a single-digit lead for the Mavericks, 59-50, as we near 1 minute to go in the half.
Nice spurt here by the Warriors to close this half out.
And here is Crozier with another three-point attempt, and he hits it. Crozier with his second 3 of the game. And that gives the Dallas Mavericks a chance to exhale, leading by 12 now, with nearly 50 seconds to go. Barnes going into the corner. And another three-point basket by Petrus, his second of the game. And now it's a three-point derby going on. It's 62-53, under a minute to go. This crowd is on its feet, but they are not cheering wildly. Little anxiety right now.
Oh, you're just used to that crowd at the Oracle Arena.
And the drive missed by Stackhouse, out of bounds. Last touch by Dallas. And the Warriors will get the ball back with a half a minute remaining.
And if I'm the Golden State Warriors, I play for the last shot here. It's 30 seconds left in the half, 24 on the 24-second clock. But if you can go in down by 7 or either down by 9, you will take that, because they were down 21 points at one point.
Greg Buckner, hard-nosed defender, coming into the game. So Buckner, along with Crozier, Stackhouse, Howard, defending. And Jason Terry at the point. Monte Ellis with the ball. And Don Nelson on the side said now. So here comes the play. Ellis going in. And it's tipped in by Jason Richardson. So a 7-point game with 6.6. Plenty of time for the Mavericks to get something here at the end. Here is Crozier with a 3. And even with a little help from Howard, doesn't go. And the Golden State Warriors, who are down by 21 points, have something to take into intermission to get them into the third. 62-55, 21-point deficit cut to 7. Nowitzki has 3 fouls, and a technical foul has been given to Dirk Nowitzki.
It was either Dirk Nowitzki or Jerry Stackhouse. Both were jawing at Bernie Fryer and Jimmy Clark. So the beginning of the second half, we will have a technical shot by the Golden State Warriors.
The Golden State Warriors, undaunted, playing on the road and seeing the Mavericks totally take their game away, have come back strong. The technical foul officially is on Jerry Stackhouse, but a close game. This crowd is quiet. And Josh Howard is with Pam Oliver.
Yes, he is. And Josh, some positives all over the place for Dallas. What did you see from that first half that you liked?
We were real aggressive. You know, we didn't back down. We played like I depended on it, and that's what we need in the second half.
And it looked like for a minute there, Golden State was going to be out of rhythm and make things a little bit easier for you guys. And then the quarter progresses.
Yeah, they're a hot shooting team. You know, they can make threes from the corners, and that's what happened. We just need to tighten up on that end and just keep doing what we was doing in the first half.
So how do you stave off elimination?
Play hard. That's it. That's plain and simple.
Thanks a lot, Josh, with that smile of his. Let's go back to the studios now and Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you very much, Pam. We have reached the break. And it is a win-or-go-home game for the Dallas Mavericks, down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors. And, hey, they like you suddenly in Dallas.
Yeah.
Barkley has got going up just a little bit too far, but Charles is in my Fave 5. Baron Davis is not. The Bay Area basher, Charles
I
Barkley.
like the God side.
Yeah, I would think that you
Jim
would.
Carrey.
And so... It
Hey,
is
you know what?
62 to 55 after a 20-point lead for Dallas in the first half of this game.
You know, Utah and Houston is a great series. San Antonio and Denver has been a great series. This is fun basketball. You know, like everybody else in the world, I picked Dallas to win the series. I'm the only person taking heat for it. Golden State.
No, you know why you took heat for it?
You disrupted the
because
city.
you said Golden State would not win another game.
Another game.
Okay, and I was wrong, which I don't ever mind being wrong. But then they started getting personal with those signs.
That's why you started getting personal with the Bay Area?
That's exactly right.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to turn the other cheek. I'm going to hit the other guy in the other cheek.
Well, I'll tell you right now, there's Diop's on skates right there.
Well,
Golden
that's a
State
tough matchup, though.
did a great job of holding their composure.
Matt Barnes played
playing
fantastic.
great. Sticking with the game plan.
But let me tell you something, man. Those guys, they're making their threes. I got to give Golden State a lot of credit for coming back in this game. But this is, you know, Dallas they've got to make a decision if they want to keep their season going. Because Golden State they're like your old team, Kenny. I tell you, they ain't going to die. You got to kill them. They're not going to die. You got to kill them. And whoever wins this series, congratulations. But this is fun basketball to watch. Golden State is fun.
I believe you have some pictures of the first half.
Well, firstly, I'll take that as a real compliment, what y'all said, because that's a great compliment when somebody says that about your team.
I gave Golden State a compliment.
Yeah, no question. That's a great compliment.
Now, quit talking about me out there.
You got to kill them. But the one thing I remember, Reggie, before we go to that sound of Reggie.
What does he keep all this stuff? They throwing what at him?
Well, before we get there, I remember a story with Reggie with Larry Bird. He was 2 for 7. And Larry Bird was like, be aggressive, be aggressive. He said, I'm just missing. He said, no, if you were aggressive, you'd be 2 for 15. And that's what kind of dirt is. But Reggie has a disclaimer saying he didn't say this. So we'll start with this. Nash sound.
We all heard
Reggie.
it.
Okay.
Throw the whole kitchen book at Dirk, which they've been doing all.
Throwing the kitchen book. I don't know what a kitchen book is, but if you throw a sink, I heard it sink. But this is Dirk being aggressive before the double team comes, and then he's running the lane. He's being aggressive, running the lanes, making it in a 3-on-2 fast break instead of a 2-on-2, and then also right here before the double team comes again, getting the low post area and scoring quickly, being aggressive so he can be 2 for 15. So the whole kitchen book is being thrown.
Read any good sinks lately?
I haven't. You know, I guess that's a book you keep in the kitchen.
That you throw at people?
Yeah, you throw at people just in case when people come up.
And I was texting him during the game. He said, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
And now there's proof. Dirk Nowitzki, 14 points in the first half, 4 out of 11. Also 3 fouls. Dallas trying to stave off elimination, leading 62.
Gonna be a great
55.
second half.
You know, earlier in this series, maybe this impresses the Chuckster.
Okay.
This is something that was going on at American Airlines Center. Check this out.
Oh, that is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
What the hell happened?
I guess he immediately thought you were going to be vaulted toward the rim, and that's not exactly what happened. And now the whole world is
That reminds me of my last couple of years trying to dunk.
Maybe that's you trying to dunk.
I told you, Sam. I want to go to Alcatraz.
I heard you want to make it into a resort.
Welcome to the T-Mobile Halftime Report. T-Mobile, official wireless services partner of the NBA.
Back here on the T-Mobile halftime report, Jason Kidd and the Nets trying to close out the New Jersey Nets or the Nets trying to close out the Raptors in Toronto, and not exactly going to happen. Look at Bargnani knocking down a three-pointer. And then, remember how T.J. Ford hurt his neck a few seasons ago? It was really a career-threatening injury, and tonight he and Vince Carter get tangled up. And
I hope everything's going well.
He raises up and then goes right back down. He had a stinger in the neck. They took him to the hospital for an MRI. He did return to the arena later. Did not play the rest of that game.
Richard Jefferson has played very well this series.
He has, for a fact. Chris Bosh did not have a good game. He had foul trouble. Did knock down the jumper there. 42-27, Toronto. Got
to give New Jersey credit. They're doubling him every time he makes his move, because he's more of an mid-post guy, mid-range guy.
Calderon.
Hey, with T.J. Ford out, Calderon did play a great game running the show. Oh, good for the Raptors. Vince Carter with the finish there as
Vince Carter had a great game tonight.
Yeah, he had a much, much better game in that gym than he had the first two games of this series. Look at that. 69-60 is the Toronto lead. Mo Pete
had a great game. It was a good basketball game this game.
It wasn't the guys who normally do it for Toronto. It was the other guys.
Well, the thing that was great about Toronto, guys who normally don't get to play, they were ready.
Is there an echo in here?
Vince Carter.
I already just said that.
Richard Jefferson inside for a two.
Something about your mama.
Yes, you were dangerously close to saying that. Vince Carter for three again.
Your mama's a sweet lady, but I almost said something bad about it.
Hey, look at this. 95-94, then it's 97-94. What you going to do with the game on the line?
Go to Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore, good follow-up.
It's a one-point game. Chris Bosh splits a couple of free throws. New Jersey out of timeouts.
This was a great shot to end the game.
Vince Carter went to the basket, didn't settle for a fall-away three, gave Knockbar an easy jumper. Knockbar missed the easy one. Quitter.
98-96, Toronto hangs on to beat Vince Carter and New Jersey, and so there will be a Game 6 in that series, and it'll be Friday on ESPN. Toronto has lost 5 straight at Continental Airlines Arena, and they'll have to stave off elimination again on Friday. Once again, the beautiful Bay Area. The Bay Area.
I love the Bay Area, man. It is one of my favorite things. Shout out to Al Williams out in the Bay Area, my man out there. Are you
starting to like it a little bit better, Charles? Are you relenting a little?
No, man. It's the dumping ground of people who can't afford to live in L.A.
You know what? You've taken it to a whole new level.
I love it.
You had a chance to kind of smooth things over, but no, not on this show. No.
Copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use or dissemination of this telecast or the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Here we are, back again, and
what's that say? What's that?
Keep what?
Keep
your Mavs jersey on. Okay.
Well, y'all better play better defense in the second half.
Well, you better spell Euro right.
Yeah. Oh, God. Please.
Oh, my God.
That was wrong on so many levels.
Thanks for watching the T-Mobile Halftime Report. T-Mobile, official wireless services partner of the NBA.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter here at Big D. The Dallas Mavericks leading the Golden State Warriors 62-55. Golden State looking to close out and finish a tremendous upset. And the Mavericks trying to stay alive. And NBA cares. NBA legends Rolando Blackman, Sam Perkins, and Spud Webb join Mavericks employee volunteers to frame a habitat home as part of a commitment between Habitat for Humanity International, the NBA, and the Players Association. This was the 8th of 10 homes that were built this season for families in the Gulf Coast region. NBA cares, continuing a tradition of basketball and service to the community. And after a huge start, 21-point lead by the Mavericks in the last 5 minutes, the Golden State Warriors went on a tear and cut the margin to 7.
Well, I'm really encouraged by the Golden State bench. Harrington, Barnes, and Petrus, they had 23 points and 12 rebounds, really setting the tone for Nelly's bench. And the Mavs, you know, Howard and Nowitzki, 11 of 22, but more importantly, their points in the paint. They're finally leading in this series, 28 points in the paint.
And there was a technical foul at the end of the first half, charged to Jerry Stackhouse.
Well, you got to check your emotions, understanding it was a nice run there by the Warriors, but you got to check your emotion. You make a free throw here, you're down 6, and you get the basketball at the start of the third quarter.
And Steven Jackson will attempt the technical and try to bring the Warriors to within 6, and he does. And right now, let's take a look at tonight's Dodge game summary. Shooting is the best it's been for a half in this series. Dallas at 51%, 49 for Golden State. The three-point shooting, both squads at 50% from the field. And the rest, as Reggie mentioned, the bench points, although the Warriors with a 6-point edge in the fast break points. Underway here in the third quarter, Monte Ellis, Steven Jackson, along with Baron Davis. Jackson missing a 3 to start it out, and Harris the rebound. And Jason Richardson also round out the starting 5 with Beatrice for the Warriors.
Let's see if the Mavericks can get off to that hot start that they had in the first quarter.
And they're fronting Nowitzki, and a 3-point shot way off the mark by Josh Howard. So it's a 6-point game, 62 to 56. And the Warriors, closest they've come since the early going. Here's Baron Davis going around Job. Open for the 3 is Jason Richardson. Beatrice fighting for the loose ball. Bumping going on, but no foul. And here is Nowitzki in the corner to Terry.
Both teams coming out a little slow this second half. Missed opportunities on both sides.
Baron Davis only 3 for 9 from the field, and that is his 4th basket, and trying to get it going. You mentioned Petrus, who has 10 points and 6 rebounds coming off the bench, very quietly doing the job as he did in game number 4. So it's a 4-point game now, 62 to 58, and anxious times here in Dallas without question. 5 on the shot clock. Howard defended by Richardson. Job setting a screen, and the block from behind by Richardson, but a blocking foul is called against Beatrice, I believe. We'll check to see who that's on. It is on Beatrice, and his first personal. So Josh Howard will go to the line. From exclusive courtside interviews to complete repeats of the Emmy Award-winning Inside the NBA, log on to NBA.com for TNT Overtime's excellent playoff coverage. TNT Overtime, the basketball broadband channel that's on all the time, only at NBA.com. And congratulations, he's going to hear it again, Ernie Johnson. Well-deserved Emmy as Outstanding Sports Personality, Studio Host, Inside the NBA Playoff Edition, and the NBA on TNT, Outstanding Editing. Congratulations to all.
Dirk Nowitzki doing a good job of keeping the basketball alive right there. Another possession for the Mavericks.
5-point lead. Harris losing his footing, and we're going to have a jump ball as Devin Harris and Andres Beatrice will be jumping. Right now, let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Well, Dick, the Warriors had a little more pep in their step as they emerged from the locker room after chipping away at that Dallas lead. But here's what they're looking to do as they try to pull off this huge upset. Warriors assistant Keith Smart said the most important thing other than taking care of the basketball is to finish plays. He said we had 14 unfinished plays within 2 feet of the basket or less. Dirk is another priority. They said they want to get weak side help on Dirk with that quick step he's taking to avoid the double team.
All right. Thank you very much, Pam. And so finishing plays, that's one thing Dallas could not do in game 4. And that's what the Warriors want to do here. As Baron Davis trying to get his shooting eye is 2 for 2, has 10 points, and the lead is down to 3.
And those last 2 shots by Baron Davis, what that's going to do is going to open up the drive for him, because they're going to have to come out and play him now.
And Nowitzki looking inside, and the double team comes, passes out of it. Terry with a fake on Baron Davis, feeding the baseline Howard off the hands of Nowitzki. 2 on the shot clock. They get it off in time, and he scores. Dirk Nowitzki with a desperation fall away. And a 2-point field goal and 17 points for Nowitzki. Here is Jason Richardson feeding Jackson out of control, out of bounds. Last touch by the Mavericks.
And when you're struggling sometimes, these are the things that are sent from heaven that can get you on the right track. Dirk Nowitzki, shot clock running down, desperation shot. Sometimes them prayers are answered.
Biedrich, and the basket counts, so Baron Davis finds a driving Andres Biedrich, who had the best shooting percentage, 5th among NBA starters this year, nearly 60%, and a chance to cut the lead to 2.
Well, 2 people go to Baron Davis because he just made his last 2 shots. Biedrich rolls to the basket, easy dunk. You know, I'm looking at Jason Richardson. I don't know if he collided knees with someone, but he's rubbing it out. He looks like he's kind of ginger on that right knee of his.
Biedrich makes the free throw, and it's 65-63, and it's the closest the Warriors been since it was 10-8 early on. So we'll look at Richardson, and the ball foul on the drive as Devin Harris trying to go baseline, and the personal foul is on Monte Ellis. Don Nelson, who comes back to Dallas with a Golden State team that just made the playoffs on the final day at 42-40, knowing that the Mavericks are the better team, but it's the Warriors who are up 3-1, and Terry loses it out of bounds, and Baron Davis on a takedown and a technical call against Jason Terry.
And there was no need for it. And the ball was out of bounds.
Baron Davis has hit his head on the floor.
Well, I think a little bit that is acting as well. You got to sell the technical, but there was no call for it because the ball was already out of bounds, and Baron was going to go pick it up, and Jason Terry with the pile drive.
And he didn't have to sell the technical; they already made it. But this is where the Dallas Mavericks had problems last year when they lost their composure on 3 different instances, and there were suspensions by 3 players, including Jason Terry.
Well, the reason why I said he sell it because if there's an alley fight, I'm going to go with Baron Davis against Jason Terry in an alley fight. So that's why I said he had to sell it.
And also, he didn't know the technical was called down on the floor.
And does it right in front of the Warrior bench. Pretty bravado there by Jason Terry.
Steven Jackson converts the technical free throw, and now they're going to go, and you're right about Jason Richardson's right knee. They're going to, there must be cut, and there must be some bleeding going on, so they're going to have to repair that. And a 1-point game, an amazing turnaround, and you know, really the Warriors have done it in a hurry. 5 minutes. It went from 21-7, and now they're within a point as Ken Maurer trying to explain things to Avery Johnson.
Well, we talked at the top of the show about psyche, that this basketball game had to be huge. It had to be monumental for the Mavericks psyche to win big, to win this series. And right now, the way Golden State has come back so quick, it's a reverse psyche in the Mavericks' favor.
We're going to see what this team is really made of, because they had the comfortable lead at home, and you know the crowd really has never. Now I know Golden State's crowd was out of this world, but this is normally a loud crowd too. But they have not been as vocal as you would expect.
Maybe they're waiting for the bottom to fall out. You think?
3 minutes gone by. Steven Jackson. Biedrich gets the offensive rebound, but a loose ball foul is called against Biedrich. His 3rd personal foul. Mavericks with the ball and a perilously slim 1-point lead. Warriors making a giant comeback on the road. Remember, they won the road game 1 to take the early series lead. Here's Nowitzki against one defender, passes off to Devin Harris. On the opposite side, a 2-point field goal for J.Howard. Howard now with 18, and he is the leader for the Mavericks.
Devin Harris, good job putting your head down, going to the basket, making something happen.
Richardson very nearly lost his dribble, recovered. Plenty of time on the clock. Howard knocking it away from Davis. Pass inside to Biedrich, and the foul against Job. So Sagana Job, with his 3rd personal foul, will send Biedrich to the line.
Good foul by Job on Beatrice, but you got to be able to make this an and one right here, because you know you're going to struggle when you go to the free throw line. Beatrice under 50% from the free throw line.
But 2 for 3 tonight. And his shot put attempt goes off. Dallas up by 3 over Golden State, 67-64. Dick Stockton, Reggie Miller, and Pam Oliver. Game 5. And the offensive rebound, and unable to save it, is Stephen Jackson. But the applause from the bench for the hustle for Stephen Jackson. This is a together team. They have played loose, and it all stems from the philosophy of their head coach, Don Nelson. Here's Stackhouse. He gets it to Nowitzki. Single coverage with Jackson, that's all. Knocked away by Jackson on the steal. 3-on-2. Jackson goes across. Richardson for 3. He hits, and a tie score at 67. The Warriors with a huge comeback, and they've done it in a hurry.
And Dirk Nowitzki is back to holding the basketball once it goes in. The first half, he would get it and go immediately. Now he's holding it and waiting for the double to come.
So this is where the Mavericks really need him to play like he did and go strong to the basket. He has not. Howard with 3 on the shot clock. And Howard gives the Mavericks the lead. 20 points for Josh Howard. He has been the best shooter in the series. Over 50% for the Mavericks, who are up 69-67. Here's Jackson again. And Jop with 3 fouls. Ball knocked away. Good play by Sagana Jop. Another turnover by the Warriors. And now Baron Davis finds Nowitzki, and a good pass to Jop for the lay-in. And a 4-point lead. So that time Nowitzki, against the smaller man, fed his center. Pick and roll. Beatrice fouled on the pass from Davis. And Beatrice looks like he's shaken up a bit.
Now look at the defenders around Dirk Nowitzki on this. 1, 2, 3. Now you've got a pass. Good cutting jump right there down the middle for the easy layup. If there's 3 guys, you pass. If there's 2 guys, you try to split the double. 1-on-1, go to work.
Yep. Beatrice hits the free throw, so he is now 3 of 6 from the line, and the Warriors getting support. Most of these guys, by the way, not playing in this series. Beatrice makes them both.
Wow.
And 2 free throws, cutting the Mavericks lead to 71-69. That last foul, Josh Howard's his 3rd. So Howard and Nowitzki and Harris and Jop, all the 3 fouls. Stackhouse with the up fake. Davis doesn't go for it. Knocks it away. And here's Davis. He's got Jackson ahead of the field. And the foul and traveling call. Stephen Jackson took steps. And you worry about whether he could sense Josh Howard behind him, Reggie.
Well, if I'm Baron Davis, I would have took that myself. I know Stephen Jackson was a step or 2 ahead, but with the speed of Baron Davis, take it yourself, because there's no one. Stephen Jackson could have been a buffer for him going in for the layup.
Matt Barnes into the game for the Warriors. And the double team, Jackson knocks it away. So Matt Barnes has come in.
Great defense by Baron Davis on Jerry Stackhouse on the previous possession. Yep. Great one-on-one defense.
Beatrice going out with 3 fouls. Stackhouse finding Nowitzki. And the foul.
Ticky-tack. It's a ticky-tack foul, but you can't ride him. You can't put your hands on him.
It's on Jason Richardson, and that is the 4th team foul against the Warriors. So the next one will result in the penalty.
Well, you got 6:25 of bonus right now. Be aggressive, taking the ball to the basket.
Great feed, Nowitzki to Stackhouse, and the personal foul. So Nowitzki with a great pass inside. Stackhouse will shoot, and the foul is against Richardson. He has 3. Jerry Stackhouse tonight has 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting, and this is his first trip to the free throw line.
Well, think about all the missed opportunities by the Golden State Warriors in that first half, too. At one point, we had mentioned they had missed 7 layups in a row, and now they're down by 3 points.
Could be 4 here if Stackhouse makes the free throw, but in any event, the Dallas Mavericks are in a big challenge. And you said at the top of the game that in order to make a statement and win the series, they're going to have to not eke out a close win, even though it's a win's a win, but really blow out this team to send a message. They had it going early, but not now. Here's Baron Davis, cat and mouse with Howard going in with the layup. Quickness to the rim. Baron Davis, who has 12 points. Dallas up by 2.
And that's what Avery Johnson was talking about when he was talking about his superstar, Dirk Nowitzki, saying Baron Davis is not going to settle. He's going to be aggressive and not let the double teams come. Perfect example right there.
Nowitzki, and the pass goes over him. Devin Harris on the miss. Jop cleans up. Sagana Jop. 8 off the bench. And once again, the Mavs are up by 4. 5.5 to play here in the third. Golden State has had the number. They have won 9 of the last 11 games against these Mavericks. Matt Barnes with a 3. And it's a 1-point lead now for Dallas. So Matt Barnes with a 3-point basket. Second most attempts on the Golden State bench. And now the Warriors looking to take their first lead of the game. Here's Jackson. And it doesn't happen.
But you couldn't ask for a better look. You had numbers and one of your better three-point shooters coming in the open court to take the shot.
21-point lead, and now it's a 1-point advantage for the Mavericks. Here is Howard. And Josh Howard, he has made the key field goals when they need it. He has 22 points on 10 for 15 shooting. And the Mavericks again up by 3.
He has a good rhythm to this basketball game. His off the dribble game right now is probably the best I've ever seen him.
Double team on Baron Davis. Jackson in the paint. Dribbling too much a little bit perhaps as Jop gets it back. A 3-on-2 break and a foul. So Sagana Jop very quietly making his presence felt on both ends. And we'll have a shooting situation with 4:13 to go. And the personal foul is on Barnes, his second.
Baron Davis trying to keep these young Warriors alive. Tempers, emotions. You love to see this in playoff basketball.
The 2007 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Let's go! 4:13 remaining in the third. 77-74. The Mavericks lead the Warriors. That's Jim Clark in his 21st year. And this is his first game back since the loss of his son 2 weeks ago. And our deepest sympathy go out to the Clark family. Working tonight's game with Bernie Fryer and Ken Mauer.
He's a good man, good referee, good family man. So obviously our hearts and our wishes and our prayers go out to the Clark family.
Stockhouse with the first free throw. Mavericks have been shooting very well from the free throw line throughout the series. And Stockhouse now 14 of 17 for Avery Johnson's crew, over 82%. And the Mavericks lead by 5. There you see the overall shooting from the line. The Warriors at 63%, way behind. 4 minutes remaining. Here's Baron Davis, has it knocked away by Jop out of bounds, but it was last touched by Dallas with 9 on the clock.
Do you see the hand speed by Sagana Jop right there at 7 feet, being able to guard Baron Davis, gets a hand on the ball right there. That's what Avery Johnson is looking for in his center when they make the switch on the pick and roll.
And he was the backup center to Eric Dampier. Remember when he started the series, it was Devin George. So there have been 3 lineup changes in 5 games. Baron Davis with the layup. So Davis getting points in the paint, has 14 now. And the Mavericks lead is down to 3.
Right now, the Warriors' objective, keep it close till the fourth quarter because they know they have a closer, a guy that they can count on for penetration in Baron Davis.
Good promo for TNT.
Hey, how about that?
Stackhouse for 3. Jerry Stackhouse with his first 3-pointer of the game. And the Mavericks are up by 6 with 3.5 to go. So trying to withstand a furious rally at the end of the second by the Warriors. And again here in the third, Dallas trying to give some breathing room going into the fourth. Matt Barnes with the double team. Up fake by Richardson. And they're going to call the reach-in foul. That is the fourth team foul against Dallas, so no shooting here. And that will go against Josh Howard, but that is 4 on the Mavericks' leading scorer. Here's Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Don Nelson and Avery Johnson may have worked together as head coach and assistant, but their styles are vastly different, especially in the huddle, where Avery runs a very structured huddle. Nelson told me that he finds an open huddle works better. Players know how he thinks, but he says it's important to know what they think, what they like, what adjustments they want to make. That last huddle was a perfect example. Nelson chewed out Matt Barnes for not being in the right spot, but otherwise the Warriors players were discussing what they think should work, rather. Dick, back to you.
Well, Pam, he's not going to chew out Matt Barnes now after hitting the 3. He's going to take it easy on him as he brings the Warriors to an 82-79 game. That's the 9th three-point basket for Golden State tonight. So they hang in there. And here is Stackhouse with a three-point attempt. Nowitzki fouled on the offensive rebound. 82-79, 2:43 to go in the third, a timeout. And for tonight's In the City, presented by Dodge, our all-new 2008 Avenger is cruising through the streets of Dallas. Now it's time for tonight's Wendy's Making the Right Choice.
Well, Baron Davis has gotten it going offensively from the outside, and when that happens, things good on the inside happen. A nice little pass to Andres Biedrins for the dunk and one right there. So when you get it cooking offensively, they got to come W. He finds the open man.
Baron Davis 4 for 4 here in this third quarter, has 14 points. 5 players in double figures for the Warriors, 4 for Dallas, and both teams shooting 53% from the field.
Well, so much for that defense of Avery Johnson and the Mavericks. Right now they're in a windshield wiper game, and that's not to their advantage. They want to play some defense and try to limit these Warriors.
Nowitzki with his first free throw. He has taken only 1 shot here in the third quarter, Reggie. He makes his free throws here. And a 5-point lead for the Warriors, or for the Mavericks, with 2:40 remaining in this third quarter. It was a tight game after 3 on Sunday, and then the Warriors asserted themselves dramatically and decisively in the fourth. Barnes setting a screen for Baron Davis and pulls back for the 3. Job with the rebound. So we near 2 minutes to go, and the Mavericks looking that they are wanting to weather that storm by Golden State in the middle of the period. Jop with the reverse layup. Good feed from Terry. And a 7-point lead now. Jop is 5 for 5, and on the turnover, 3-on-2. Nowitzki will pull up against Richardson.
And this is a very dangerous 2 minutes for the Warriors.
Yes.
They've done so much to get back into this ballgame. They can't let it go away before the fourth.
And Jackson off balance, out of bounds, and it'll be Golden State last touching it, and it'll be Mavericks ball. And you're absolutely right, 7-point lead. And you know, with all of that, this crowd is still, they've been standing a good part of this game, but vocal they have not been. Harris, fortunate not to travel. And here's Devin Harris from the corner. Wild 3 off the side. And here's Baron Davis with Stackhouse and Terry back. And they're going to call Stackhouse with the personal foul. His first of the game. And it'll be a shooting situation. That is the 15th foul against the Mavericks. And Baron Davis will go to the line.
Well, I think the big question, the longer this series goes, because Nelson is only playing 8 guys, will fatigue set in?
I don't think it will. And you know, in the first example is Baron Davis with the knee problems. He played over 40 minutes, and Don Nelson said, look, this is the way it's going to be. If we lose, we lose. But we have to go with only 8 people, and Baron's got to play a lot of minutes.
Well, what was interesting was when he said he might even go down to a 6-man rotation if Monte Ellis and Al Harrington didn't bring their A game. So he's going to go with what he's got. He'll worry about the second round if they're fortunate to get there.
10 points for Baron Davis here in the third quarter. We approach a minute remaining. The Mavericks lead the Warriors by 5. Trying to survive, and the tripping foul. Stackhouse going to the basket. And Baron Davis called for the foul. That will be 2 on him.
Jerry Stackhouse trying to make a beeline to the basket right here. And, you know, even though he's struggling from the field, 3 of 9, Jerry Stackhouse is. One thing you can bet on when he goes to the line, 4 of 4 right now. And you stop the clock, you get rest. It allows them to set up their defense and not get any transition, to get back in transition from Golden State.
First miss of the game by Stackhouse, who was 9 for 10 from the line in that Game 4 defeat. Devin George will come in for Dirk Nowitzki, who has not had a very productive third quarter. He had 14 points at the half, only 4 here in this third quarter. And Stackhouse 1 out of 2 with a minute to go. 6-point lead for the Dallas Mavericks. The number 1 seed against the number 8 seed. Richardson with a 3, and that cuts the lead in half to 87-84. So Richardson with his third 3-pointer of the game. And the Warriors 4 of 8 from beyond the 3-point line here in the third quarter. And Ken Mauer going over. Is he checking to see whether Richardson was behind the line?
No, I don't think the clock started when they brought the ball in, but miscommunication there by the Mavericks. How can you not know Jason Richardson is wide open on the left wing facing right there? A breakdown in communication.
Thanks for clarifying that for me, Reggie.
That's what I'm here for, partner.
Well,
that's what I'm here for.
And a couple other things. 10 on the shot clock, 36 plus on the game clock in the third quarter. Stackhouse with a 3. So Stackhouse, who was ice cold the first 3 games of the series, as Reggie mentioned, is 20% from the field, has been strong the last 2, and again a 6-point lead. Stackhouse has 11 here in this third quarter. Baron Davis, Richardson. Davis with a 3, Baron Davis, and again in the battle of 3-pointers, it's down to a 90-87 game. Davis with 19 points. And now the Mavericks playing for the last shot of this third quarter. But what a changing complexion of this game. Harris misses a 3, and Barnes corrals as time runs out. But we are in for one wild final 12 minutes of regulation as the Golden State Warriors at one point down by 21, down by 3 after 3. Back to the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Game 5. Can the Mavericks hold on and survive to another day? Or will Golden State become the first number 8 seed to knock off a number 1 in a best-of-7 series? Josh Howard with 22 points, leading scorer for the Mavericks. Baron Davis with 19 tops the Warriors. Dirk Nowitzki, who has 18, took only 2 shots in that third quarter, and this game up for grabs as we start the fourth. Devin George, Jason Terry, Sagana Diop, Jerry Stackhouse, and Josh Howard. So Nowitzki on the bench as we start the fourth.
Well, I'm real curious to see the body language from both sides. So which team really is going to want it more? This is uncharted waters for the Golden State Warriors. I'm interested to see how they're going to handle this.
Here's Stackhouse and Baron Davis on him. The Petrus, Barnes, Richardson, as well as Al Harrington. George forces it up, and the offensive rebound by Stackhouse. Trapped underneath, goes out to Howard. Looked like Richardson was going to give Howard that 3-point shot. Didn't take it.
Offensive rebounds. You can't give this team second and third opportunities. They're too talented offensively.
Terry has it knocked away, nearly stripped away by Davis. 5 on the shot clock, and Howard fires it up one-handed So the Mavericks don't take advantage of that second chance opportunity. And now a three-point game. Golden State has not had the lead tonight. Here's the feed inside in the basket by Barnes from Richardson. And the Mavericks lead is down to a single point.
And that's the advantage that Coach Nelson has with Jason Richardson when Jason Terry is guarding him. Put him on the post and let the double team come. Good cutting there by Matt Barnes.
Setting a screen is George for Howard. They go the other way to Stackhouse. Misses the three. Petrus with the rebound, and the Warriors looking to take the lead in what could be an elimination game for the team with the best record in the league. Richardson misses the turnaround, but Barnes cannot save it out of bounds, and it will go over to Dallas. So 2 occasions tonight, the Warriors had a chance to take the lead, and they have come up empty. Nowitzki will come back into the game along with Devin Harris.
Quick shot there by Jason Richardson. Toss the ball back out. Put Jason Terry on your hip. Get down in the post. He could be a lot like Mitch Richmond, who played under Coach Nelly. He has that same type of body where you take him down to the post, you can punish him.
Richardson trying to stay with Howard, and they're going to call the offensive foul, and a great defensive maneuver with might have been Davis coming over to become a late double team. No, and Howard now with 5 fouls.
I think this is Steven Jackson coming weak side right here, taking the charge in the chest. You know, great rotation here defensively. When a guy turns his back, if you can sneak in there and get your body in there and get your feet set, you're going to get the call.
So 5 fouls on Josh Howard. And he goes to the bench. Josh Howard has scored 22 points. And Devin George back in there. This crowd has been on its feet most of the night.
On their feet, but not loud. Right. Now it's time for the 2 superstars, Baron Davis for the Warriors and Dirk Nowitzki. You got 10 minutes left. It's money time.
And Baron Davis throws it away as Harris and Terry with good double team out at the point. So the Mavericks get the ball back. A little more than 2 minutes gone by. Can Don Nelson lead his team to the shocking upset?
Well, Coach Avery Johnson before the game said we had soft cream puff double teams in game 4. That was a very tough double team right there, getting the ball out of his hand.
That was a firm stake of a double team. Going up is Terry. Ball tapped away. Nowitzki maintains control. And Barnes with a great play into the hands of Baron Davis. Davis feeding a driving Barnes for the basket. And the Golden State Warriors, to the dismay of Mark Cuban, have taken their first lead of the game. 91-90. Barnes is limping now. 2.5 minutes gone by. And we'll see if he can shake that off.
And maybe this could be part of that psyche that can be crushed on the Mavericks side. They finally get the lead, these Warriors, up by 1.
It's the Warriors in front of the Mavericks by 1. Now it's time for tonight's U.S. Army strong performance of the game.
And Matt Barnes off the bench for Coach Nelson, getting it done all over the court. You see the drive down the lane, left-handed dunk, spreads the floor out with his 3-point range. And to get the lead for the Warriors, the dunk in the open court.
Fans log on to TNT Overtime on NBA.com to see more U.S. Army strong performances. So a Bruin commenting about a Bruin.
Shocking.
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 There is Devin Harris, and he gives the Mavericks the lead by 1. Devin Harris, 3 for 8 from the field. Dallas by 1. Mavericks looking to win at home, force a game 6 in Golden State. The turnaround by Barnes. Loose ball picked up by Petrus, and he misses a 3-point attempt. So here is Terry. Driving the baseline is Harris, and the foul is called. So for the Warriors, that is their first team foul of this 4th quarter.
Devin Harris, back-to-back possessions. He hits the jump shot from the top of the key, pump fakes baseline and goes and gets fouled. Aggressive offensively. If I'm the Warriors, that's the one person I want taking the shots, because you got Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki on the floor, not with the basketball in their hands. But he's been coming through.
Cam Oliver
Well, Dick, Dallas assistant Dale Harris reminded the Mavs they lost game 4 because they stopped playing in the fourth quarter. He advised them not to do that again. Avery Johnson wants focus and composure from his players. He also wants them to try to keep the ball away from Baron Davis. Finally, he said, think positive thoughts.
All right. Down 3-1, why not? And of course, you expect that they would play strong in the fourth quarter, particularly at home. And Baron Davis, who had 13 of his 19 points in that third quarter, it's a 3-point lead, 94-91 in favor of Dallas. Double team on Davis. That's the strategy out on the perimeter. Jason Richardson with a 3, and we're tied at 94.
And they won't go away, partner.
That's 4 3-pointers for Jason Richardson. Tied at 94. Here's Harris again. Picked up by Barnes on the switch. Penetrates inside. Basket good in the foul. So Devin Harris making things happen here in the fourth quarter has scored 6 consecutive points.
Well, coming off the pick and roll right here, he just takes Matt Barnes to the hole right here, using the glass. Unlikely offense out of Devin Harris.
And going to the line for the first time tonight. And the 3-point play. Mavericks up 97-94. Nearly 4 minutes gone by here in regulation. Game 5, best of 7. Can the Warriors spring the big upset? Baron Davis hitting the 3. Davis now with 22 points and ties the game at 97. And a whistle, and there's going to be a foul called. The basket will count.
And Michael Petrus will shoot the free throw.
And it could be a 4-point play.
And Baron Davis off the pick and roll. Where's the double team? Avery Johnson started this fourth quarter by getting the ball out of his hands right there. He just comes off clean with a clean look.
And a chance for the 4-point play. The foul was called against Harris. He has 4. Josh Howard has been on the bench with 5 personal fouls. And Petrus 2 for 2 from the line, looking to give the Warriors their second lead of the game. And it's 98-97 in favor of the Warriors. They won game 1. Dallas won game 2. And the Warriors won both games out in Oakland to take the 3-1 lead. Austin Crozier, effective from 3-point range in the first half, is in there. Harris, having a big fourth quarter, has 8 straight points. And Dallas regains the lead by 1. Crowd looking for an offensive foul, but Barnes doesn't get it, and Richardson rims the basket, but Barnes coming back with the offensive rebound. How valuable he has been coming off the bench. Jackson hitting the 3. Stephen Jackson with a 3-pointer, and the 2-point lead is the biggest for Golden State. That is Jackson's 3rd. So Richardson and Jackson have 7 threes between them. Harris behind to Crozier. He can hit from 3, and he does again. Austin Crozier with his 3rd 3-pointer of the game, and the Mavericks regain the lead by 1. Under 7 minutes to go. A thriller here in game 5. A battle of survival for the top-seeded team. Can the Warriors spring the big upset? Offensive rebound knocked away, and players pointing in both directions. Ruled last touch by the Mavericks.
And this is just an old-fashioned shootout at the corral right here. Stephen Jackson, when he has time to get his feet set, he fakes right there. Jerry Stackhouse doesn't come to him. He just knocks it down. Pick and roll, really pick and pop. Austin Crozier steps back. A solid game off the bench for Avery Johnson, Austin Crozier.
And where else would you have a shootout but in Dallas? Baron Davis going to the basket and fouled.
And these are 2 players that know each other well. Played at Crossroads High School together in Santa Monica. Obviously, Austin was older, a senior, when Baron was a freshman. And you talk about, is there any love lost between these 2?
And there is the collision and the foul. Remember in game 2, Baron Davis ejected with his 2nd technical, and Stephen Jackson Also, and they were fined $50,000 by the league, and both Davis and Jackson were fined substantially by Don Nelson. He felt it was something that he had to do. Jackson, by the way, native of Port Arthur, Texas, coming back here and hoping to advance with a huge upset win. Davis's free throw is good. And Baron Davis will try to untie this game. And we have a clock malfunction, second time we've experienced that here tonight.
I'm telling you, this last 6 minutes and 41 seconds, Baron Davis has stepped up. Austin Crozier has come in off the bench for a big three. Now I'm waiting on Dirk Nowitzki. It's his turn. He's got to do something for these Mavs. Devin Harris has carried them so far in the fourth quarter. Now it's time for your MVP candidate to get going.
No question about it, and he was absent in the third quarter. Not much from Dirk Nowitzki in the third. They're going to need him. You're right here. 103, 102. Warriors in front. Nowitzki passing to Stackhouse. 8 on the clock and throws it away. Stackhouse trying to get it, and I think Dirk felt there was another player behind him to receive the pass. Dirk Nowitzki in this second half, 1 for 2 from the field. That's just not going to get it done if you're an MVP candidate. They've got to go to him, and he's got to take advantage. Petrus with a 2-point attempt, missing. Mavericks trying to regain the lead. Harris tripped up and fouled by Baron Davis out on the top. For Davis, that'll be his fourth.
That's a good foul right there by Baron Davis because he was beat on the drive right there. Devin Harris would have had a wide open layup, but that's 4 fouls on Baron Davis. I know it's 6 minutes left, but you got to be careful now. They lose him or he goes to the bench in foul trouble. That's their leader.
And for Dallas, Josh Howard with 5 fouls will be inbounding the ball. So it'll be Howard with Harris, Terry, Nowitzki, and Crozier for the Mavericks, nearly halfway through this fourth quarter. A lot of nail biting going on here in Dallas. Howard with 8 on the shot clock. Crozier pulls back for a 2. Wild shot, and Nowitzki knocks it out of bounds. So the Mavericks get it back with a 1-point, or the Warriors get it back with a 1-point lead and a timeout call. Whoever anticipated this? The 1-8 matchup, Avery Johnson with the mighty Mavericks. But the Warriors showing no fear. 3-1 lead and a tight game 5.
The 2007 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Hyundai. Make a really smart move. Drive a Hyundai with America's best warranty. By Miller Lite. For award-winning taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite. Good call. By Foot Locker. Stand up and be proud of your kicks. Foot Locker. Love thy sneaker. And by Verizon Wireless.
Warriors lead the Mavericks 103-102. Right now, let's take a look at what's coming up on TNT. After the game inside the NBA, where EJ, Kenny, and Charles have highlights and analysis of tonight's playoff games. Then Wednesday, the playoffs on TNT continue. Denver's at San Antonio. Game 5, Spurs up 3-1, followed by Game 5, Lakers and Suns. The Suns up 3-1. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern. Steven Jackson with a miss, but Richardson keeps it alive for Golden State. Devin Harris trying to stay with Baron Davis. They get inside to Jackson, fouled, and Steven Jackson will go to the line, where the Warriors have connected on 17 of 24 thus far tonight. Dirk Nowitzki, that'll be his 4th.
Jackson's made his last 4 free throws, missed his first 2 of the game.
And can actually give the Warriors their biggest lead of the game if he connects twice.
Now, partner, it's really quiet in here. It has been a loud, very boisterous crowd, but now this is when they really need their fan support in this crowd to really get into the ball game.
1 out of 2 for Jackson. Warriors lead the Mavs 104-102. Nearly 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Matchup zone by the Warriors right here.
And here's Nowitzki, who has just taken 2 shots in this second half. Terry, rebound by Jackson. So for Jackson, here's the feed inside. Jason Richardson on the long pass from Baron Davis. And the Warriors are up by 4. And this crowd is stunned. A shocking series coming into this game. And the Warriors were confident coming in, according to Don Nelson. Nowitzki feeding Jump in the block. And the foul as Petrus will be called for what will be his 5th personal foul.
Well, we said this team likes to settle for a lot of threes, but sometimes when you got high flyers like Jason Richardson, a former slam dunk champion, he curls in. Baron Davis, good eye contact, full extension. Sometimes when you run the floor, you don't want to settle for threes. You go in for the easy deuce.
And Sagana Job hitting the first free throw. The foul was not on Petrus, but Matt Barnes. So Petrus still with 4. Barnes picking up his 4th foul. And Job trying to bring the Mavericks to within 2. And the air ball out of bounds.
And that was a good foul by Barnes right there. You put a poor foul shooter on the line, make them earn it. Anything now, any layup, you got to start fouling people and make them earn it from the stripe.
Don Nelson telling us before the game that we are going for the W, going after it tonight. He says, my players think they can win, and they have thought that throughout the whole time. Despite the comments that Don Nelson has made, that this team was in awe. Good ball movement, and the 3 by Jackson. Richardson trying to keep it alive, but Job gets it. So the lead is 3. The Mavericks trail, and the ball knocked away by Jackson from behind. Gets the ball back from Baron Davis to Barnes. 3-point attempt by Richardson, and he's got it. Jason Richardson with 2 big threes, and Avery Johnson wants to talk it over. A 6-point Warrior lead, and that is the 5th 3-pointer for Richardson tonight. It is a shocking development here in Dallas in a silent building.
Ball movement around the horn. Jason Richardson, the beneficiary of the corner 3.
.403 remaining in regulation, and the intertwined relationships involving these teams. Avery Johnson, who was a point guard for Don Nelson at Golden State, assistant coach. Don Nelson left, and Avery Johnson became the head coach. Mark Cuban and Don Nelson do not have a relationship anymore. There are problems between those 2 people, and Don Nelson coming in and trying to spring maybe the biggest upset in NBA playoff history would have to be. And here's Jerry Stackhouse, short with the jumper, and into the hands of Baron Davis. 109-103, and this crowd is not going to give the Mavericks any help. They are as stunned as most basketball observers have been with the developments here.
Smart decision here by Baron Davis.
Nearly a steal by Harris. Davis has to fire it up, and it's a 3. It was a desperation 3 after Harris very nearly got the steal. We have had a 20-30-point turnaround in this game. It is 112-103. Nowitzki comes back with a 3. He has played 20 minutes here in the half, and that was only the 3rd shot he has taken. And Dirk Nowitzki now with 21 points. 112-106, under 3 minutes to go.
What a timely 3, though.
Next foul by the Mavs will be their 4th. 1 more by the Warriors will be the penalty. Matt Barnes wins the 3-point attempt. And here comes Harris feeding Terry. Stackhouse will take the shot for a 2. And Richardson the rebound. And if you're wondering whether the Warriors will want to use some clock, forget about it. That's not the way they play.
Well, they should. This is the time where clock management is at its best. And if you got a point guard like Baron Davis,
8 on the shot clock. Richardson into Barnes. Blocked by Nowitzki. Big defensive play by Dirk Nowitzki. Warriors down by 6. Here is Nowitzki with the fake. Fires up to 3 and hits. So Dallas fans may be wondering where he has been. Nowitzki playing big in the last minute. Brings the Mavericks to within 3. Back-to-back threes and a block on the defensive end. And Don Nelson will want to talk it over. Dirk Nowitzki playing like an MVP in the last minute.
Well, he's getting it done at both ends of the court right here. He comes here, Barnes thinks he has a wide open layup. The 7-footer blocks it off the backboard. He pump fakes and a wide open three to cut the lead to 3.
112-109 Golden State. And Reggie, you couldn't write a better script than what we have in this game right now. I got to go back to what you said at the outset. We had a few moments ago a 30-point turnaround from what was a 21-point lead by the Mavericks, and now the Warriors taking over the lead.
Well, I think they really just hung in there and just understood if they could keep it close that they had Baron Davis to save him to the rescue. I'm more worried about, do they have enough gas to hold off and stave off Dirk Nowitzki back-to-back threes in this Maverick run.
And again, the point you made at the outset that the Mavericks didn't need just a win. Of course, they needed the win, but they had to decisively defeat the Warriors tonight, and that's not going to happen.
I think right now they'll just take a win to let their season go on one more game.
Double team on Baron Davis. 6 on the shot clock. 112-109. Here's Richardson pulling up, misses the bank shot, and Howard getting the rebound. Mavericks are 3 points away from tying this game, and Dirk Nowitzki, their MVP, who has been silent in the second half, now has come on big. Here is Harris driving in, gets the basket, and score there to call a charging foul. No, the basket will count. The basket will count. The signal given by Clark.
Devin Harris with his head down right here. It almost looked like Baron Davis was trying to get out the way. More importantly, Baron Davis picks up his 5th foul, and Devin Harris goes to the line to tie this ball game up.
And 112-111. And Devin Harris misses the free throw. Nowitzki was trying to tap it in, so the Warriors maintain the 1-point lead with 1:18 to go. Devin Harris with 11 points here in the 4th quarter.
Now they get the ball out of Baron Davis' hands with the double team. Someone else is going to have to step up.
Jackson out at the point with 6 on the clock. Terry guarding him. Jackson with a long 2-point attempt and Howard the rebound. So the Warriors have not taken the best of shots, thanks to the Dallas defense the last 2 times down the court. Under a minute to go. The Mavericks looking to take the lead. Nowitzki and the foul. And Dirk Nowitzki will have a chance to put the Mavericks in front. That is a 15th foul against the Warriors.
Where's the weak side help? If Petrus is going to front Dirk Nowitzki, he's expecting to have weak side help right here. Total collapse in defensive communication for the Warriors.
Petrus with his 5th foul. TNT playoff action through Thursday, but also on TV, ESPN Friday and ABC next Sunday as playoff coverage continues. Dirk Nowitzki 8 for 8 from the free throw line. And the Mavericks trying to regain the lead. Ties the score. 25 for Nowitzki, and a little relief shown on the sideline for the Mavericks, and a 20-second timeout called for by the Warriors, who have 1 20-second timeout left.
I think this is what everyone's been wanting to see from the MVP candidate, Dirk Nowitzki. He gets it started on the defensive end with the block right here. And here's his first 3 to cut it to 3 right here. And then the pump fake. The guy goes by, steps over to the corner, and knocks the other 3 down. Now he has a chance to put his Mavericks up 1 with 1 more free throw here. So this is the type of special skill we've been looking for Dirk Nowitzki in this series.
In less than 2.5 minutes, he has 7 points, chance for 8, plus the block. And the Mavericks lead. They've outscored the Warriors 10-0 in the last 2 minutes, 20 seconds. So let's see how that 8th seed reacts here. 35 seconds remaining, and here is Petrus missing the three. Barnes keeps it alive. Differential of about 7 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Davis going into the corner, and a missed shot by Jason Richardson. So the Warriors missing several shots, and they're going to call Baron Davis for the foul. And for Davis, he's out of the game. That's his 6th. Critical loss for the Warriors with the waning time remaining, losing their best player.
And really, this is a monumental collapse down the stretch for the Warriors, very much the same way the Mavs did in Game 4. Contest right there by Dirk Nowitzki on Jason Richardson.
And 27 points for Baron Davis. Wide-eyed and fouling out of the game with 21.6 and a 1-point lead. Remember, the Warriors have only a 20-second timeout remaining. And Josh Howard going to the free throw line.
Well, in that previous possession, I really thought that Jason Richardson, when he had the pump fake, he could have easily took a 15-footer and decided to pass the basketball out. When you get an opportunity like that, you got to take the shots, because right now they're going to take the ball out of Baron Davis' hands. Other people are going to have to take wide open shots, and he had one right there.
3 of 5 from the line is Josh Howard. Big free throw coming up here to try to give the Mavericks a 3-point lead. Misses the shot, and it's Dallas ball as his last touch by Matt Barnes. And this is critical with 20.9 seconds remaining.
Dirk Nowitzki keeping the ball alive with his size, quickness.
And Josh Howard gets it out to Nowitzki, and they're going to have to foul, and Barnes fouls Nowitzki, who is 10 for 10 from the line, but they had no choice. They couldn't waste any time. They got the ball in his hands, and they had to foul him.
It looked like Dirk Nowitzki was one of the first guys in there. Just gets a hand on the ball right there.
So Nowitzki, in his own way, says, I'm going to wait for the last minutes to become the hero. And that's what he is doing. This could give the Mavericks a 4-point lead with 18.7 seconds. And you can see the strength of Nowitzki's offense tonight from the free throw line. And the big key block at the other end. It's a 4-point game. 116 to 112. And the foul committed by Terry, and that is a non-shooting foul. That is the first foul within the last 2 minutes. So the Warriors will inbound.
Well, it turned out to be a smart foul because they had one to give.
So with the Warriors, they need to get a shot off in a hurry and then foul in a hurry as Terry goes to the bench holding on to his side. Can't waste much time, the Warriors. And it's off of Ellis out of bounds, and it's last touched by George with 13.4. Simply, Reggie, with Baron Davis fouled out of the game, the Warriors have to shoot fast, hope to score, and then foul in a hurry and hope for misses. Here is Barnes. Air ball. And a loose ball foul will be called against the Warriors. And that'll do it. Avery Johnson's team appearing to hold on here. And for the first time tonight, we're finally seeing this crowd. Well, I guess they're exhaling now.
I'm going to tell you this. Dallas really dodged a bullet tonight. Obviously, the pulse running to the heart is beating a little bit faster now because the series is going to continue. There's still life in the veins.
Technical foul called against Steven Jackson. And he has been ejected. So this is the second time in the series that Steven Jackson has been ejected. And the last time he took his time leaving, was not suspended but was fined $50,000. Nowitzki putting the exclamation point on here. The Warriors had a 6-point lead. Actually, we're up by as many as 9. 112 to 103. There's Jackson with the applause, the mocking applause, forcing Ken Mauer to eject it with 2 technicals. So the Warriors are hopeful in their comeback, and it is ending on an ugly side for them in this game. Reggie, as the Dallas Mavericks right now with a 15-0 run down the stretch. The Warriors missing their last 7 shots and taking their last 30-second timeout. 20-second timeout. We'll take a timeout. Dallas up by 6. They'll survive. And right now it's time for tonight's closer of the game.
I think everyone knows who the closer tonight was. Avery Johnson called him out before the game, saying he was worried about the double teams, and he comes out tonight with the block, back-to-back three-pointers, crucial free throws down the stretch for his team.
And Dirk Nowitzki coming up big late in the game. The three-point attempt missed, out of bounds. Nowitzki with 30 points, and our statistician Marty Aronoff informing us that 12 of Nowitzki's points coming in this 15-0 run. That'll do it. And the Dallas Mavericks get a huge scare after the early lead and hold on and defeat the Golden State Warriors 118 to 112. The series now 3 games to 2. And you can see Avery Johnson applauding as he leaves the arena. And now Game 6 will be Thursday night at Golden State. And the Dallas Mavericks survive here at home. And right now, let's go to Pam Oliver, who's with Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, Dirk, what a relief that must be. Overcome adversity is something you guys have been talking about a lot.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word.
I said, first of all, congratulations, but what a relief this must be for this team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole season's kind of swimming away when we're down 6. And really, we just had to battle it all the way to the end. And, you know, our motto right here in the last couple games, just force one more game. And that's how we came out. And it was big.
How determined were you to lift your game tonight?
Well, you know, I got to make stuff happen. You know, it's either off the dribble, post up some. If I have a good look, I got to shoot. And I still got to be aggressive for this team. And if it's not there, move the ball, let the other guys make the play. And I thought we had some good balance early on, and it worked.
Were you stung at all by some of the comments from Avery this week regarding your need to be aggressive in these situations?
Well, you know, Avery is a great motivator. He's one of the best in the business. And, you know, he did it with David Robinson over how many years in San Antonio. So, you know, it's playoffs. You got to leave it all out there. We're down 3-1, now 3-2. So we got to go to Golden State and get one more.
All right, appreciate your time, Dirk. All right, let's go back to Dick Stockton.
All right, Reggie, you said Dallas had to win big, but do you think this is enough of an impetus to help them in game number 6? Your thought?
Well, you know, a lot is going to fall on if Dirk can do this on the road. I wanted them to win big for their psyche. We'll see. Their fans are going to be fired up in the Oracle Arena.
Warriors led by 9 with 3:10 left, and Dallas came back to win. So final score, 118 to 112. The Mavericks win. So for Reggie Miller, Pam Oliver, and the rest of the crew, Dick Stockton saying goodnight from Dallas. TNT is your exclusive home for the Eastern Conference Finals. And right now, let's send it to Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio for Inside the NBA.